can't explain it to the blind. May you wake up from inside, see the truth through the third eye. Let your heart be your guide, light up the way. Let your heart be your guide. Free from your pain, it ain't a mistake, cause you choose your fate. Hi guys, I hope you're having an amazing, beautiful, positive day. I'm sending you so much love and so much peaceful, balanced energy. I hope you guys are doing good. I know it's been a minute. I'm sorry. I am somebody who only releases when I feel aligned. I can't force anything. And, I was just having this conversation with somebody yesterday, how the whole world and matrix is built off of hustle mentality and go, grind, right? And though some people do well with that energy, others, we don't do well in that energy, right? And we have to accept that. We're all different. I do well when I can deliver my best in every moment. And to be on that hamster wheel of hustle and grind doesn't mean that I'm always feeling my best. And so as a teacher, as a student in the school of life, and somebody teaching, sharing my wisdom and my knowledge, I'm only able to deliver the messages when I'm feeling my best. There are some messages in this podcast where I wasn't feeling my best and I still shared the message. It didn't feel aligned, though. You see, you feel when you're aligned. You know when you're aligned. Everything comes out very clear. There's no thought to it. It just flows. There's no resistance. And that's how I choose to live my life. And the more that I try, the more out of alignment I am, and the more watered down my delivery, or it just doesn't come out as clear as it could when I'm feeling my best. And so that message is for one of you. You might have people around you that are trying to force you on that hamster wheel of hustle and grind, but it just, you live in that resistance in that area because you're not like them. You're more sensitive. You're more in the flow of your life. So just understand that there's so many of us out there that are in the flow, and we thrive in the flow. We don't create resistance in our life. We're not programmed in the matrix, the way that people are programmed like robots to just go, grind all the time. It's inauthentic. To me, it is inauthentic to force something in my life, right? I'm learning this lesson of force right now. God is forcing me into a period of healing, deep healing, real self-realization of myself being a chosen one. This is a message for the chosen ones. And I don't like to use that term too much. I see people building their whole entire TikTok content surrounding chosen ones, and they're speaking to the chosen ones. And I feel there's like this kind of an ego in there, in that energy when we're speaking of being a chosen one. To be a true chosen one is that we have chosen. We have chosen to walk in the light of God. Our souls came here to teach others how to find their way back to themselves. And for that reason, we are chosen for this mission, for this life, for this journey, for this calling, right? And it comes with great responsibility. And that's why I say we are no better than anyone, because we are simply here to shine the light, to help others find their way back to themselves. Not to put ourselves on a pedestal and look down on people and be self-righteous, right? The true chosen ones, we are humbled. God humbles us daily, constantly. And for this, we don't live in our ego. You can tell when someone's living in their ego. Self-righteous, self-serving, self-centered. And the chosen ones, we are here to pull people out of that ego and connect to their heart, connect to their soul, connect to divine. So we are no better than anyone. Our mission here as a chosen one is to be the light.
to be authentic, to be who we are. And, as a chosen one, our life has been very difficult. My life has been very difficult. Nothing has ever come easy. I've never fit in, and we're not meant to fit in. We're here to be the example and be something that exists outside of everything that's already created for us to experience in this matrix. We are the opposition. We are the, the outlaws. We are the outlaws. And there's very few of us. We're very rare. Can feel very lonely. We are master problem solvers. We are masters on our own. We can stand on our own 2 feet. We don't need anybody because we came into this experience already feeling alone. God created us strong, right? What do they say in the Bible? God creates its toughest battles for its strongest soldiers, or whatever it is. Like, we hate hearing that, but it's the truth. How many of you chosen ones have gone through things in your life alone? You didn't feel like there's anybody else you could reach out to in those moments. You are a master problem solver because everybody comes to you with their problems, and you're solving their problems, right? And so we go through things alone. And it's sad to think that sometimes, right? As I'm doing my deep healing, I'm looking back on my life. There's certain moments where I was in survival and I just went through things without even realizing how I even made it through. Although knowing, like, it was all divine, right? It was all God guiding me through, because there's no way that certain things could have played out in my life the way that they have. And if that had happened to somebody else, they wouldn't have made it out alive. Like, they wouldn't have made it out, And there's this kind of mourning phase that I'm going through now as a chosen one, as realizing my full potential here and really the purpose that my life plays and the anointing and the responsibility that comes with that. I've had some really difficult moments in my life. And I'm almost mourning the version of myself that allowed those things to happen, right? This is how we are coming into our power. We're realizing, like, whoa. I'm having a lot of those moments lately where I'm just saying, like, whoa. And then I'm seeing myself. And I'm ashamed of how I've shown up. Unloving to myself. Right? I'm going to share a story with you guys. There's many stories like this in my life, but this is just one example. Because as I'm healing, I'm thinking of these moments and I'm like, whoa, what the fuck was I going through in that moment? And how did I make it through? So when I lived in Florida, 2016, I moved back to Florida. And at the time, I couldn't live in Miami because I didn't have anywhere to live. And so I rented this room in West Palm Beach in a stranger's house. And I barely knew the person. I didn't know them at all, actually. I just rented the room from them because I had nowhere else to go. And at the time, I was borrowing my friend's car. And I woke up one day. I was so tired. This is me being on the hamster wheel now that I'm looking back, and I'm sharing this moment almost like I'm talking to you guys and sharing a story. But I used to be so addicted to the gym because I was so attached to my physical appearance. I was so attached to needing to look a certain way. And I was exhausted all the time. I would wake up every single day, and I worked in a club at the night. So I was working all night at the club till 4 a.m. in the morning. And I would wake up the next day and go to the gym and then go to the club at night. And I was completely exhausted. Like, I don't even know how I was doing it. But anyways, this day I woke up. I went to the gym. I went to this one gym that I never went to before. And I drove there and I get out of the car. I get into the gym. And something told me, not something told me, I was thinking, oh, I don't like this gym. I'm going to go to my regular gym. Something told me not to go to my regular gym. I just knew, like, there was a bad feeling. But I ignored the feeling. And I went and I drove to the other gym. And it's in a parking garage. When I drove into the parking garage, I was so tired. I was so freaking exhausted. As I was turning into my parking spot, I pressed the gas instead of the brake, and I crashed into the wall in the parking garage. Full speed. Like, it happened so quick. I don't even remember. All I remember was I was in shock, and I get out of the car. I saw that I totally totaled the front of the car. It was my friend's car too. I felt like my whole world was crumbling. And my friend who I had borrowed the car from was all the way in Key West. So this was hours away. We're talking like 4 or 5 hour drive away. And I was totally in shock. I was exhausted. I pretty much was so out of myself at that moment. Strangers came and checked in to see if I was okay. In that moment, I had nobody to call. Nobody. Not one person that I knew, that I could call, that I could count on, that I even thought of. Nobody even came to mind. And I felt so terrible because that was my friend's car, and I just felt absolutely like a piece of shit in the moment. I wasn't even thinking about myself getting help. I was thinking about the fact that I just wrecked my friend's car. So I got in the car. I didn't even have any money at the time too. I couldn't even call a tow truck or anything. I had no money. I had no one to call. And I just drove the car home. And it was so totaled. It was smoking. I was like, oh my gosh, please do not get pulled over by the police. Like, the last thing I need to get pulled over by the police. Like, please just let me get home safe. I didn't even care. I just was like, please get me back to where I'm staying safe, please. I ended up calling my friend, and this is how you know I have real angels in my life, because I told her what happened, and the first thing she said to me was, "Are you okay?" To me, that will forever be ingrained in my mind as the type of person she is, the character she has, because she didn't even ask about her car. She asked if I was okay. And I wasn't okay because I was very embarrassed and I felt very bad. But that's just one example. Obviously paid her back for her car, and I made sure, I'm a Capricorn, so that was something that was like burning in my mind to take care of like immediately. But it took time, but that's besides the point, because chosen ones, like, we have moments like this all the time. All the time. Where we feel like we have no one. And just to go back and visit those moments, it's painful. But I do have like these moments where I remember the people that were there for me, that were there the way that they could be in those moments. Like, for example, my friend who asked me if I was okay. Like, I will never, ever forget that. Something so small that I hold so dear to my heart in that moment. That's a real friend. We feel like we're alone, but we're not. We just feel like we are. We have angels. We have God, divine, with us all times. I can't think of another person that would have been in a situation like that and what they would have done. They wouldn't have done what I would have done. They wouldn't have done what I did. And absolutely not. Like, they would have done something else. They would have called people they knew, family members. People would have shown up for them. A tow truck, somebody would have called them a tow truck. Like, they just would have sat there and not been able to handle it on their own, right? As a chosen one, we are built to handle it. on our own. As much as we feel like we are alone, we are not alone because we have divine protection. We have divine energies in different dimensions that are with us at all times that will never let us fail. Never. And I know this because as I look back in my life, there was so many freaking moments like that moment, and I was always okay. There was always an angel. There was always somebody that I didn't even know that was there to pick me up. And or just even the energy and the willpower, the problem-solving brain that I was gifted. There's a solution for everything. As a chosen one, we live in a space where we know there's a solution for everything. There's never a moment where I sit and I let myself sulk. There's never a moment where I sit and I let myself feel like a failure. Because I'm programmed to be a problem solver, not just for myself, but for humanity. We are problem solvers, chosen ones. And it's a heavy weight to carry sometimes. It's a heavy weight. So as you're healing and you're looking back on your life in those moments like that car crash I had, many other stories. I mean, I've shared some in this podcast with you guys. But I am so strong from those moments. I am so strong from those moments. You are so strong from those moments. You have divine protection and you know it. You have to trust it. You have to believe in yourself. You were gifted with the abilities to thrive on your own. Many people in the world, I'm talking 99.9% of this world that is not a chosen one, they need people to come in and solve their problems for them. They need direction. They need people. They need you. Do you see the power that your life has? They need you. They need me. They need us. And that is the responsibility that we have. That is the responsibility that comes with the anointing. So stop sleeping on yourself. You will never fail. You will always be protected. You will always be guided from angels and God. You will always be safe. You are protected. And I know it feels lonely here because in this dimension and reality we live in, we are alone. We're here to be the example. But it doesn't have to be lonely. I love you guys so much. I hope you have an amazing, beautiful, positive day. If you'd like to book personal sessions, you can do that booking at feelswithmeesh.com. If you would like to check out my TikTok page, Feels with Meesh, my YouTube page, Feels with Meesh. I'm sending you all so much love. Bye.